We're frauds.
It's France Olympics. He decides, I'll break my mate's house and go make a sandwich.
Like you're moving like you're fucking dancer. You look at this cha-cha-cha.
Hello and welcome back to Uneducated Nuffies. You're finally back, mate.
I'm back. Unfortunately, I'm back. Have you missed me?
No.
Aww.
No, I'm kidding.
No. Oh, I haven't missed you. It's been... No, I'm joking. Yeah, I'm back. Back from the freezing cold.
Yep.
It's a lot hotter here.
Yeah,
I don't know
this
how
studio is very hot right
I
now.
think I'm preferring it back being in the freezing cold than in this sweltering heat. Because at least I can rug myself up and get warm. But look, it was a fun trip. I had a lot of fun. I got to see snow for the first time. And actually snow, not artificial snow.
But like Mount Buller.
No, not Mount Buller. No, it properly snowed in Prague. It was really cool to see. Saw some nice historical places. Red Light District was interesting.
No.
The less we say about it, the better. But no, it was a lot of fun. A lot of beers. I'm the most piss fit I've been in a long time.
I definitely didn't see every single night. Just, hey guys, I've had 10 million beers.
I generally don't think I can consume many beers for a while because it was a lot. It was like every place we went to, it's like they hadn't drunk, but then I had to drink. So like I'd drink here for 5 days straight. Then we go to the next place. Oh, we haven't drank in a week. Let's drink. Oh, drink more. So it's like I didn't get to stop ever to drink besides when I was sick. Even then, I still had a couple of drinks that day.
That was a funny day that day.
Oh, that was a long day. The less we talk about that, the better. But I've also changed teams.
Yes,
I'm
you
now
bandwagon.
a Forest fan.
Bandwagon.
Repping the badge. No. I've gone from a Big Six club to a non-Big Six club. So I'm going down.
Bandwagon.
It's not a bandwagon. I'm fully behind Forest.
When did you choose to change teams?
I thought about it around in October.
Yep, and when did you choose to do so?
When Alanga scored that first goal.
And what position were you in by that point?
We were fourth on the table.
Case in point.
No, because what's going to happen? We'll have one good season, we'll play with Champions League football next year, and we'll go back down to the bottom of the table. And then you'll be like, haha, you're down the bottom of the table. Like everything.
Yeah, because it's reserved at that point.
Yeah, but I'm still going to support them. I'm not going to just switch on them now.
Anyway,
Anywho, Jonty, how was your weekend?
I got very silly. I finally added the silly to my silly season. Very drunk over the weekend.
I can confirm.
I'm still feeling the effects of it now. Not drunk, I'm just hung.
This is why you need to be piss fit. It's important to be piss fit.
No.
Yes.
Because you get sillier way easier.
No, but that's not the point. You don't drink to get silly.
But that's just the added fun part.
You got a lot to learn, Jonty. You got a lot to learn.
No, well, I added my silly to my silly season. Went to a house party on Saturday night. You were there for a little bit.
Yes.
Got a little bit silly there.
Mm-hmm.
Then had 1 hour of sleep. And then went out last night. Went to Hofbrau House. Very nice place. Very good restaurant. I didn't get silly. I didn't drink. I had like 2 drinks last night. I had to drive. The mates across from me got very, very silly on a Sunday night. Both had to work the next day too.
They're both university undergraduates, so it doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
But yeah, so then had to drive them home. That was fun. But yeah, so got very silly. But my bigger point is today in my hung state, I found this today, right? Do you remember the Charlotte announcer? The one that gets really glazing over.
Yes, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, look, I was watching it again today because it's Charlotte versus Phoenix. Important matchup, no. They're both out of the playoffs right now. But both teams had no defense or offense. The glazing of the Hornets the whole time was just so apparent. Anytime Phoenix did anything good, it didn't matter. Charlotte was good. Charlotte went up pretty quick, and then they were just screaming. My ears hurt. So yeah, funny thing to hear.
American commentators just I don't understand them. Like they have to over exaggerate every little minute detail. Like it's not needed.
Oh wait, have you watched Tom Brady yet?
He's commentating now?
Yeah, he's commentating.
I thought it was just an owner.
No, he's commentating.
Oh no.
Have you not seen his massive deal?
Some people shouldn't be allowed to commentate.
He's got a massive deal as well.
Yeah, because it's Tom Brady. It's just a name value in itself.
He's not good at it.
it doesn't surprise me. Not everyone's good at commentating.
There we go. But yeah, Charlotte announcer, still the most glazing person of all time.
Taylor Siddle's got a hat-trick on his birthday! Not yet, young little beauty! Not.
Barnes got 6 at the G! Build the man a statue!
What are you doing here? Oh, just listening to some Spotify, mate. Yeah, just listening to some tunes.
It may have been winter where I was, but back in Australia, the cricket hasn't stopped this summer. And boy oh boy, what a summer it has been. Obviously, the India-Australia test over. We've regained it. Yippee. Well done, boys. But cricket still hasn't stopped. We had the Big Bash, and boy oh boy, it is heating up.
Thank you, BT. Boy oh
I'm
boy.
not having that. All teams are still a possibility of making the finals with 8 games to go. Right now, there's 2 teams who are guaranteed to be playing finals, and that is the Sixers and the Hurricanes. But look, there's 6 teams all vying for those last 2 spots. But let's have a look at last night, because what a performance we saw last night. The Stars versus Renegades, the Melbourne Derby 2. Stars won the first derby, and they were looking like they were in a lot of trouble. 7 for 75. In comes this, I don't know if you heard this guy, Glenn Maxwell?
Oh, let me just try and think. I think I might have heard of him. Oh, did he play for Australia like 10 years back?
I reckon he's played a fair bit of cricket. But Glenn Maxwell's come in and scored 90 off 52 balls, ended up giving the Stars a defendable score of 165, and they rolled the Renegades for 110, 115.
It was 120. It was like around that.
Something like that. They won by 42 runs. But the more surprising thing to come out of this, Peter Siddle at age 40 is still bowling 140 plus kilometres, and he's bowling maidens in T20 cricket.
He'll be playing till he's 50.
I don't understand how he's this good for this long. And he was like a last-minute pick-up for the Stars.
Yeah.
And he's probably been their best bowler this season. He's a genuine star.
Well, do you know what the worst part is? When we were at original pub originally, at that point the Stars were 6 for 70, and we left. And now I missed the whole masterclass.
I was sitting on the couch like napping, and I'm like, it woke me up seeing him just go berserk. He had 122 metre 6.
Yeah, that was massive.
It wasn't off a bad bowl. It was off Kane Richardson's like decent. He's bowled for Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, and look, we're going to cover the other games before because we've had some other great performances. Steve Smith just comes back into the Big Bash.
Takes piss.
Plays 1 game, scores 121 in his return of about 67 balls.
Well, think about it. He's played over 10 overs, like batted 10 overs in Big Bash, 20 over fucking format.
And look, he's opening for the Sixers. Do you think you could see him opening for Australia at the T20 level?
Nah, because he'll take a break. You have so many options for the opening in T20 because T20 is so much different to opening in Test. There's so many different options you can have. Like, I reckon for opening for Big Bash, there's probably like 50 different candidates for Australia right now.
Well, I know who one of them's not going to be, and his name's Jake Fraser McGurk, because that guy can't make a run. We'll be talking about him later. Yeah, anywho,
foreshadowing.
The other game, and this was a very high-scoring game, the Strikers versus Heat. The Strikers have now scored the second highest BBL score in history, finishing 5 for 251, and they beat the Heat by 56 runs. It's more impressive that the Heat made 196 chasing that. They gave it a good effort, but unfortunately fell short. Matt Short was the top scorer with 109 off 52 balls. Very big ton. But which one do you reckon was a bit more impressive? Was it Smith's or was it Short's?
Well, Matt Short's had all season to get used to playing T20 again. Smith's basically just returned and gone bang. Get inclinated. Don't even have to wait a second. I think Smith's is more impressive.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think just because he hasn't played as much Big Bash or T20 cricket as Short has, but it's not taken away from Short's score. That was amazing
ridiculous
performance he had. But that's it. Obviously, there's 8 games left. Any 6 of those teams are up for grabs. I believe in my opinion, it's between 3. It's going to be between the Stars, Thunder, and the Heat. I think any of those 3 teams will get those last 2 spots. I think Scorchers are in a bit too bad of a run. Strikers have left it too late, and the Renegades are just terrible.
Falling apart.
But look, it's very interesting as well. In 2 weeks, we're back with Test cricket. Australia are heading over to Sri Lanka for a 2-test series. Squad has been announced. We'll know there's going to be 1 guaranteed change. Pat Cummins is on maternity leave, looking after his new bubba. So I believe Steve Smith is stepping in as temporary captain. First time he's been captain in 3 years. He was captain once after
the scandal.
Yeah.
It was in between the Tim Payne.
Yeah, that's right. But look, he's back in the reins. But so we know there's gonna be one change. But look, obviously, the subcontinent is a bit of a different game. Spinner's paradise. Normally, they like to have a bit more of a ground that gives a bit more to the bowlers. But do you think there'll be more changes than the one? And if so, who do you think?
Well, the bowling lineup, you still have Lyon in there, so no matter what, he'll be there, and you have part-time spinners, so they won't go free spinners out the gate. Maybe in the second test, it'll be struggle with fast bowlers, but with the fact that we've included Sean Abbott, I don't think we'll be changing from how we play now.
No.
So I think there's one of the two more experienced spinners will probably get the chance. Seeing I probably want to see, well, give them a chance, seeing they haven't had a lot of chances. Subcontinent. Murphy would normally be the candidate. In my opinion, I think Kuhnemann should be in. Had a really good spell last time in India. Give him another chance. Murphy, for me, doesn't offer as much outside of that. So, yeah, I think Kuhnemann. But I know you're going someone out of the gate.
I think so. Look, I'm going two changes. I think they're going to go with two spinners, I believe. And Lyon is going to be definite. I think they'll give Lyon one more subcontinent. I reckon they'll start maybe next year looking to bring in a sort of transforming from Lyon to maybe a Murphy or Kuhnemann. But I think they brought Coop Connolly into this squad. I think you're not bringing him in for no reason. I think they're going to give him a chance. Great spinner. He's proven himself for WA with the ball and the bat. He's a very good bat as well. So he's both versatile, gives you another extra bat depth. I think that'll be really handy. I think they'll continue with Bo Webster as an all-rounder as well to give you that third bowler. So I'll go Webster, Stark and Boland. I can also see them looking to maybe change up the top order. I can see them giving Uzi a bit of a break. I can see them, obviously, Constus will probably keep his spot. I can see them giving McSweeney, giving Constus and McSweeney a go. I think two young openers could be good. I think there's not much to lose, obviously, in this test. Obviously, they want to win the trophy, but there's not much to lose in. They're not going to not make the test championship. There's not much on the line. Sri Lanka aren't they've been in great form, don't get me wrong, but they're not a top
not top
level
side, no.
International team. But I think give them a chance, see what they can do, because obviously Aussie's going to be done at the end of the year. Start looking to transition from the Aussie era to two new opening batsmen.
Yeah, the only issue with that one is McSweeney still won't open even when they get to their full future.
But I think you need to get him into the squad to get him that experience, and then you can push him back. They did it with Smith. Smith batted like 5 or 6 until he got up there. Or you can push Head up there. They always, you never get to your, like, in my opinion, McSweeney will be number 4 in a couple of years.
Yeah, he will. Once Steve is out of the squad, he'll be replacing Steve.
You need to get him in there, get that experience. You can't bring him in and drop him straight into the 4.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
That's crazy. Take your tinfoil hats off, your conspiracy theories away. Australian Open is here.
What a great time of year it is. I love the Australian Open.
Is this the best tournament? Like, Wimbledon has a prestige, but Australian Open does it better.
The crowds the Australian Open get are the best crowds in the world for tennis, and just in general, the crowds you see on like a John Cain Arena is awesome.
It's great.
It's beautiful. But look, we've got plenty of Australians in action in this tournament. We have 3 males are seeded in this year's tournament. We've got Alex Deemnall, who's playing tomorrow night. He's the 8th seed at the moment. Alexei Popyrin, after beating Novak Djokovic in the US Open, he's been seeded the 25th. I believe he's playing tonight.
Yep.
Then our 3rd seed male is Jordan Thompson, 27. He won today. But, Jonty, when was the last time you reckon we had 3 Australian seeded players?
Oh, it's been a long time. I reckon the last time we had 2 would have been Tomic's era.
With Tomic and...
It would have been maybe still Hewitt at that point.
Yeah, I knew it would have been around.
But it's been a long time since we've been, like, not to say we're being this good, because not like they're not like the most impressive players, but they're definitely going to be up there.
Yes, there's some great talent, but unfortunately we don't have any Australian women seeded at the moment. We've got plenty of women in action. I believe Alana Tomljanovic, she won her opening round today. But look, there's plenty of matchups happening, plenty of games and courts to watch at the moment.
especially tonight.
What's on
As I'm
tonight?
recording, which actually already started by now, Nick Kyrgios is lighting up John Cain
He's
Arena.
back. It's the Nick Kyrgios Arena, as he wants to call it.
Oh god, no, it's not. It's not. But Nick is finally back. He's taking his tinfoil hat off. He's stopped talking about pyramids. He's stopped talking about all the conspiracy theories. He's taking on Jacob Finley from the UK. Solid youngster.
He is. He's actually looked pretty promising. But look, does anyone get better crowds and own John Cain like Nick Kyrgios does?
No. He's an X factor in everything except for tennis right now. Actually.
He's when you go to his game, you know you're gonna have a great crowd. Like the crowd always get behind him. He's the most entertaining person to watch play tennis.
Well, if we have Kokkinakis and Kyrgios on the same court again for doubles,
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. So that's in the men's. Obviously there's a lot to go at now, a lot of big names in this tournament. But when we look to the women's side of the tournament, Arena Sabalenka, is that you say her name?
Yeah.
My apologies, Sabalenka. Yeah, she's looking to become the first woman since Martina Hingis in 1997-1999 to win 3 Australian Opens in a row. She has been in dominant form. She won her first match in opening in straight sets. Who can stop the Belarusian and the form she's been in?
well, Coco Gauff's one we always think might do it because she's very hot right now, like in form. Need to specify that. Swiatek could also do it, but Sabalenka probably will go ahead and do it again. She's just, it's domination.
Yeah, she is winning on and off the court. Her TikToks have been blowing up as well. The dances are back this year. Well, I get around it. I like it. It's a bit of personality from the tennis players. I like it. But look, yeah. So as always said that, let's have a look at the predictions on who do you think, Jonty, is going to be the men's and women's tournament Australian Open winners.
Oh, all right. I think Yannick Sinner will probably win men's again. I think there's not many people on that kind of level. And while it's probably easy to say that, the fact that Tsitsipas is already out,
Tsitsipas,
yeah, that's crazy. And realistically, Demonor hates the 4th round of the Australian Open, so I'm not going to say him just for the safety factor. I don't know. There's not many people that stick out at me right now.
Okay. What about the women's?
I'm going to Coco.
Coco.
I think she gives me the Osaka vibes when Osaka won it. Like,
Yeah, okay.
finally getting up that top point. Comes in when she's slightly underfavored and win it.
Yeah. Look, I'm probably going to go Sabalenka again. I think she's too good at the moment to not win. I think it's the first time she's been the number 1 seed in Melbourne. Excuse me. So I think I can see her winning that. But in the men's, I'm going somewhere different. I think it's finally the time. He's had 2 chances he should have won because he was up both times he lost in the finals. He was up 2-0. It's going to be the year Daniil Medvedev is going to finally win a Grand Slam.
No, it's just never going to happen.
No, it's going to be this year.
It's never going to happen.
I'm backing behind him. He's fallen so close twice, obviously to Rafael Nadal when he was up 2-0. He's up four matches to 1 in that
games.
4 games to 1 in that third set. And then Rafael Nadal obviously came back. And then last year he was up 2-0 against Sinner. Choked that. But this is the year he's going to do it. I've got full faith that he's going to go all the way here.
Well, look, we also forgot about the most important name in Australian tennis now. This is a good name. Tristan Schoolkate.
Oh, no.
What a name.
I saw this. We're watching it before. Poor bloke being on School Kate.
That if you had a teacher called Kate, and so Tristan Schoolkate had a teacher called Kate at school.
Oh, that's just turned my head already. No, that's enough. Please, no. No more. I'm done. Bye-bye.
Well. Corruption never pays, Auckland. How's losing to Perth? How did you lose to Perth, actually? 1-0 loss to Perth, at home for Perth as well. Their first win.
I'm speechless.
It's second. So I think it was win for them. It's the second loss Auckland have had in their history now. The only 2 games have been to Western United and Perth.
I would just say every time I've been away, Auckland have lost.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should go away more often.
Yeah. But yeah, the corruption doesn't pay. That's the lesson we've learned.
Oh, it still does.
Well, they're not top anymore, and they won't be top. I'll explain in a bit.
Okay.
So Western United and Victory had their match on Friday night. Absolute barnstormer to send off Jason Jerry for Victory, but they didn't win. Western United, after being down twice, being 3-2 down in the 88th minute, score 2 goals in the 91st and 94th minute to come back and win 4-3, which pissed me off. But anyway, but currently now, City are currently top. They've had a very good run. But Adelaide now in the front position to take the lead in A-League. They're tied in points with City with a game in hand. So both teams coming back on Auckland. Auckland now in a bit of strife and haven't had the greatest run of form recently. Arsenal versus United. Big match last night overseas. And it showed why cup matches can be so exciting. The fight, penalties, Arsenal being silly, very silly. Made sure why FA Cup is so exciting. Another team that made it exciting by being shit is Spurs.
I did see this is funny.
Ange survives an absolutely horror show for the first 90 minutes. In extra time, winning 3-0. So they waited pretty late. Brought on 5 of their starters to win it. Look, they had a very interesting week. They've beaten Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Nearly lost to Tamworth. And you have a bit of a thing about Ange, don't you?
I do. Ange had a press conference during the week after the Carabao Cup game against Liverpool. He was asking for the lawmakers to leave the game alone, stop changing interpretations on rules every season. He said that if he is the lone person, he will be that lone person going into it. He's sick of having to be the person who says it, because obviously every season the rules keep changing, and I don't think us fans can keep up with all the changes in the rules, mainly in England, because you go to Europe on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night, handball is interpreted as one thing, but then you go back to England and that interpretation that would be a handball and a penalty in Europe is not one in the Premier League. So I'm with Ange here. I think that the lawmakers do need to just, if they are going to change rules, just let them sit for a bit. We can't keep changing it every season, because the fans can't keep up with it, the players can't keep up with it, and neither can the referees.
No, look, this is like the whole culture around rules in England is a really big issue, because every single time there's a slight reaction to a rule, like in a negative way, it becomes a major focus, and every single rule that has changed recently has had one major incident which caused it. And that overreacting to one incident, instead of just standing firm and saying, this is the rule, you have to live by it, is what's causing so many issues.
Yeah, and look, I see what they're trying to do with rules, but it feels like every season we've got a change in how a rule is being interpreted. Say it's a handball, say it's a yellow card, tackle, whatever. But at last one season, the players just get used to it, and that rule gets changed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they have to go from saying this is what we interpret it for this season, but the next season, we don't want to interpret it like this. We think it needs to be interpreted like this.
Yeah.
It makes it so hard to actually understand as a fan. So then you go to a game and you see maybe someone's been taken out of the penalty box, and you think, is that a penalty or is that not? Because no one knows the full interpretation of the rules, because it keeps changing. It's impossible to keep up with.
They need to stick to the main ones UEFA have. That's all we need to do.
It should, in my opinion, it should be a full Europe, or the whole continent should abide by the same rules. It shouldn't be up to the league to have different viewing for the rules, because otherwise it makes it impossible.
I don't want to get political or anything, but Brexit means Brexit.
Oh, not Brexit. They're still a part of Europe. Doesn't mean just because they left the EU, they're still a part of Europe.
No, they left.
No.
They voted to leave.
They are still a part of the continent of Europe.
No.
They're not their own continent.
The UK is going to float off into the Atlantic.
I hope so. Hope they get fucking nuked. No, we love them.
No.
Don't make me get out of this seat.
Come on in.
He won't get in the water. He don't want to get his hair wet. Pretty boy.
Hold that thought. I'm gonna call you back.
Oh, Lord.
We're at the halfway mark of the NBA. A lot of things has happened, a lot of changes, a lot of records are being set and broken. The Cavs team are something else at the moment.
They are.
They are currently 33-5. Were 33-4 before today, but they've lost to Indiana today. They are probably the real deal, in my opinion. Can you see them breaking Golden State's record of 73-9?
Well, no, they're not on track on it anymore. They probably could have if they didn't lose today, and they've got Indiana again. So it'd be interesting to see how they do there. But this Cavs team is ridiculous. Not that ridiculous. They'll have some late season faults.
It's just like they don't... Obviously, they got great players in Donovan Mitchell, Garland, Mobley and all that. But I feel like there's a well-rounded team with a well-rounded coach who knows how to get the most out of all of them. And it feels like... I think JJ Redick said it the best. I don't know if it was JJ Redick or someone. One of the coaches said, the only way you can beat the Cavs is you have to be on your absolute best, otherwise you're not beating them.
Because they've got so many options. I said Donovan Mitchell, Garland, they're both elite scorers at point guard, shooting guard. Both normally be point guards in their own right. Then you have Mobley, Jared Allen. Like, you aren't getting past that.
Yes, two tall men.
And then they just can interchange anyone at small forward. It's a ridiculous team. It's not Golden State 73-9. That's not anywhere near the case, but it's definitely a team that could go, I'd say, 70 wins.
We could very much see them go 70 wins. But on the other end, on a team that's firing on all fronts, a team that can't barely stay healthy is the Orlando Magic. But yet they are still in the playoff hunt. They're in like fifth on
No, they're fourth. So when Paolo originally got injured, they were in fourth. He came back and they're still fourth.
And they're just losing players left on it. That's Franz Wagner. They lost one other. I think they lost. I've gone blank on his name.
Suggs,
Jalen Suggs, yes. They cannot catch a break, but they're still staying in it. Obviously, Paolo came back today or a couple of days ago. He's back, but they're going to be very good in a couple of years.
Once they have it all figured out, because they're going to have to figure out how to properly space Wagner and Banchero together, because Wagner's not playing as well when Banchero is in. But their team overall is just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous team. And when they do get their full strike, no injuries, have fun playing them. But look, from a team which has made great draft decisions to one that we all thought made a pretty bad decision. Did the Kings get it right to sack Mike Brown? After winning Coach of the Year last year, poor start to this season, 7-game winning streak coming out since they've sacked him. It's the longest current streak in the NBA. So the next closest is 6. Can't remember who. But it's currently 7 wins in a row. Have they made the right decision?
Well, on that case, then yes. But I feel like it's a curse to win Coach of the Year now. Because obviously Mike Brown won it last year. And then you look at years gone past. Budenhauser won a couple of years ago. He got sacked. He was a coach of Toronto in 2019, 2020. He got sacked. Huh?
Nick Nurse.
No, the one before it. There's been many...
No, it was Nick Nurse.
Well, Nick Nurse got one. They had one before that as well. He got sacked. But it's like a curse. But look, they probably have made the better decision because they are getting wins. Is it going to work long term? Who knows? We won't know until we see what happens. But it's good to see the Kings back. So I like watching the Kings. I think they're exciting to watch play basketball. I love watching Sabonis. I think he's one of my favourites, at least, watching on the court.
The whole team, though, is quite... It's starting to come together with DeRozan and with Fox, Sabonis, having everyone else around it. It's starting to finally piece together. They might get that play-in spot because it's still tight, but then they could still, at this current point, the West is still so close. They probably could still make playoffs easily. Talking
about a team who is fine in form and clicking together, the Detroit Pistons.
Look,
Cade Cunningham, the number 1 pick of the 2021 draft.
It was the one post Zion.
It was one of them. I can't remember which one. Maybe it was 2020. He needs to be in all NBA discussions. He's had 7 triple doubles just this season.
He he has single-handedly, after not the greatest start to the season, something's just clicked, and he's now averaging like 30 points a game in the last few weeks. Detroit itself has become one of the most entertaining teams to watch, which hasn't been said about them for a while. They went...
No, it's been...
since Cade's been in, 23 wins, 17 wins, 14 wins. And they've made 20 so far.
So they're already on track. The last time I remember Detroit actually being entertaining was when they had Andre Drummond. And even then, I don't know how entertaining Andre Drummond was back then. Because he'd get 20 rebounds and 20 points.
Most of his rebounds came from him missing shots. No, they haven't been this interesting for a long time, and the whole team around it. You've got Jaden Ivey when he isn't injured. You've got Asar Thompson, could be great. Jalen Duren, one of the most underrated centers in the league. They're all just really young talent that could go far, and Tobias Harris being back is pretty cool to see as well.
I like seeing it.
Now, someone that I'm looking forward to seeing in a Pelicans shirt next year, Cooper Flagg. He's definitely the number one pick already. He had 42 points the other day in college. There's also stats for Duke. He's currently number one in every major stat.
Boy, oh boy. I even saw, what was it? He's the first person to score 40 plus points since JJ Redick did for Duke back in 2009.
Yeah. He's a ridiculous talent. And JJ Redick was at shooting guard and had license to shoot.
Yes.
So this is a completely different thing. It's Cooper Flagg is already ridiculous, and it's going to be funny to see him go number one.
Not to the Pelicans, though.
You don't understand, mate. Kwame Brown, number one pick.
Oh, another number one pick.
Look, I'm going to throw hands on Kwame Brown soon. He's been chatting shit about LeBron.
Not your LeBron Pookie Bear.
Not the Pookie Bear. Not my sunshine. But so on the weekend, he said on Twitter, and on a video, he said, "I believe LeBron is going to leave the game worse than he found it. LeBron is a football player playing basketball, and they moved these rules so that the skill set could work." Hey, Kwame, I don't know if you've seen this right, but he was also an MVP before you left the league. I don't know if you remember when you were sitting on the bench at Charlotte. He was pretty good at basketball before then. Look, it's obviously someone butthurt that they didn't work out his career.
Oh, Kwame. The only reason you were number one because there was literally no one in that draft.
That draft was awful.
I don't think there was anyone out of that draft besides maybe the Gasol brothers.
I think Richard Jefferson was also in that draft.
Even then, Richard Jefferson wasn't anything spectacular. But then, these noises. Your house is absolutely cursed.
What is going on today?
You know who else has been cursed? Shaq, because he's been dwarfed.
Have you seen the video?
I have seen the video. I think he's in college or high school?
He's college.
College basketball at the moment named Oliver Riox?
Oliver
Rowe. Oliver Rowe. He's 7'9".
Yep.
And he actually made Shaq look small.
He was dwarfing him. Shaq would still beat him in a fight because Shaq's built
big.
Built, but this man is Wemby build. Just without the skill.
He's gonna be. He'll play NBA. No doubt about it.
He will.
Because just tall. Look, Taco Fall did it.
Yeah. He's got more skill than Taco Fall.
Well, Taco Fall's playing for the Breakers at the moment.
He's doing well. He's doing well,
actually. Yeah, absolutely dwarfing him.
After a long season, the NFL playoffs are here, and after what could have been a big wildcard round, no one has really upset many ideas.
I think all the favourites won in this weekend. Obviously, we had the Bills. They beat the... I forgot who the Bills played. Was it the... Who did the Bills play?
Don't restart.
Doesn't matter. The Bills won. I've gone blank here.
Don't restart.
Let's restart.
Okay. After a season full of turns, the NFL playoffs are here. And while everyone can get excited about wildcard round normally, nothing's happened. It's been pretty much smooth sailing for everyone who was expected to win.
Very boring. Very boring. Obviously, the Bills beat the Broncos pretty comfortably. Ravens beat the Steelers pretty comfortably. Texans probably were the only maybe upset one you could say. 'Cause
They've
the
been-
Chargers
they've
were in
been-
very good form.
And Texans were in bad form, but then
It's not like
it's
a
not.
shocking one.
And Chargers have only one single play, so
Eagles beat the Packers, and then the Commanders beat the Bucks. I think everything was expected there. No surprise there.
no, the Commanders though, doink winning field goal.
Yes, very close. They made it look a lot difficult than they needed to be. But look, we've got one game left. LA Rams are hosting the Vikings away from home, unfortunately, due to the LA fires. So that makes it a little more difficult for LA because that home field advantage is obviously being taken away from them, unfortunately. I was about to go 1 point. I'm not going to say
Oh
that.
God, you just said it. Anyway.
But look, I think considering they were hosting it and they're the underdogs is always worrying because the Vikings probably the best fifth seed.
Oh,
of all time.
they're pretty stiff to not be.
I think they had the second best record in the
Yeah,
NFC.
okay,
and they're
let's-
the fifth seed.
Let's
because-
just point this out, right? So the Vikings, they went 14-3. The Rams went 10-7.
Yeah.
The only reason why they didn't make it is because the Lions
Lions
were
went
ridiculous.
15-2 and they beat them in week 18.
Yeah,
But look, so you'd be shocked to see if the Rams won tomorrow against the Vikings, but who knows? We've seen crazier things. But look, it's sort of shaping out here, John T. What is your prediction? Give me the prediction for the Super Bowl and who is winning.
well, let's start off. So the next round is Chiefs, Texans, Lions, Commanders, Eagles versus whoever wins the Rams Vikings game, and then Bills, Ravens. I'm gonna rule out a couple teams here. Texans. They won't win. They won't get as easy as one-dimensional Chargers. And the Commanders, unfortunately, as much as it's been fun seeing Jaden Daniels beat Lamar Jackson 2.0, it's not going to happen against the Lions this year. Look, I really want to say this, as funny as it would be to happen. I want the Ravens to win it all because they have the most vile attack. Like, imagine trying to defend Lamar Jackson.
You can't defend their run game.
And then Henry just comes at you charging instead. You have to have the best D-line possible to do anything to stop them.
I watched their game today. Literally, they don't even have to throw the ball. They can just run. And they could run every single play and they'll still win.
Yeah, they literally, if they do throw, just get ready to be playing QB spy because Lamar's going to be running. On the other side, the Lions, for me, all season have been the most dominant team. This is theirs to throw. They threw it last year.
The Niners.
They won't be throwing it again this year. I think they're pretty set because this is their year to win.
I'm with you. I think the Lions will be in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to go to the Ravens. I think it's the year of the Bills. I think the Bills are finally going to reach the Super Bowl. I think Jared Allen has been Jared Allen.
Yeah, the one from the Cavs.
Josh Allen. My apologies, Josh Allen. He was the MVP case for 90% of the season. It could say now Lamar Jackson, but I think they're going to find something and click it. They're finally going to get there. They're going to get over the Ravens. They're going to get past the Chiefs, and it's going to be a Lions-Bills Super Bowl, and I think it's the Lions to lose.
Yeah, no, the defense of the Lions is just ridiculous.
Their defense and their offense.
Yeah, and Hutchinson may be back by it.
I'm such a big fan of Amon St. Brown.
Well, he's dyed his hair back to pink.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
So he's back. He's locked in. Talking about locked in, the national championship, the first one in college football with the full 12-team playoff format, is between Notre Dame and Ohio State. Now, both teams weren't the 1 and 2 seed, which is
they weren't even the 3 and 4 seeds.
No, this is I believe it's 5v8.
Yes.
So both teams not expected to be anywhere near it. Well, near it, but not that far up. But anyway, the whole new thing worked perfectly because everyone just had fun. Except for the ones that were 1 and 2.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 seeds in who was it?
Oregon
and Alabama?
No. Oh my god, I can't.
It was one of those Midwestern.
No, it was one Ohio State. I can't remember who it was. Well, I can't remember who it was.
It was someone.
Anyway, those two though, Notre Dame, they are starting someone who was disliked by Duke. Couldn't even get there. And then Ohio State are finally going to try and get that chance to win one in a long time.
I don't ever remember Ohio State even being up there.
No, they've been up there for a while. This is the one where like they've deserved one for a while. They should have won when CJ Stroud was in, but then they played a brilliant Georgia team. And then before that, they just constantly have good teams that fail at the final hurdle. But Notre Dame also, in the first year without conferences being the big push, they've done it without one in general. So it's completely different. Who do you reckon's going to win it?
I think it's Notre Dame. I think they've actually looked probably the more exciting brand of football out of the two of them.
No, they've run a lot.
Yeah, but I like it. I'm big behind it. I think Notre Dame are going to get there. I think Ohio State have had a great run. I think they're just going to fall a little bit short. But I reckon it's going to be a cracking game. But again, could go either way.
I think Notre Dame's defense is what's going to get them over the line if they win. But Ohio State, just their wide receiver playmaking is just so good. So I think they'll win. I think it's very much different going from either air raid or run. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But
what we've seen come out of this season, at least in college football, with the NIL coming into play, it's going to put a lot of change into the NFL, into the college football, in my opinion, because the big dogs aren't going to have that sort of big grab push to what they've had previously, because these other teams and colleges who aren't as big as your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Michigans and that, but are still pretty big. They can bring in these people with these NIL deals and give them more money.
The big one over the last weekend was Carson Beck, who was supposed to go in the draft this year. He had one more year of eligibility left. Miami paid him $4 million to stay and play in Miami instead. Like, that is something which did not happen.
A rookie NFL player makes what, if you're a top end pick, about $1 million?
Depends, but definitely around that point. I know Caleb's on probably about $2-3 million. So
he's still on more than the number one pick from last year.
Yes. So to go play for 1 year with a Miami team, which is ridiculous, just needs to get defense in check. And look what happened, because I know why he did it. It's because he had a horrid year. Look what happened with Cam Ward, the quarterback last year. Went from being a second day pick to being a top 5 pick. It's ridiculous money, and you get to try and prove yourself. NIL will be massive. Will people enjoy it? Because, as I said, as the Blue Bloods will all be like, we can pay more, but at what cost will this be to our program? But yeah, massive change, and it could be more open depending on how it goes. But then again, you look at this year, and there's only 1 or 2 teams that aren't Blue Bloods of college football. So, yeah, NIL, it's interesting to see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Right, real close, and then they go.
No, it has to be the same distance. It has to be a bit there.
Oh, well, it's about 20 metres, max.
Okay, so 20 minutes. Bang. I'm literally going to put cement in my water bottle and go. If there's one thing I've missed about this pod, it's this. We're here. I'm back for 2025. It's here. Melon of the week. Let's get started. Oh boy, I've missed this.
Now, if you've forgotten what it is, Melon of the week, you should remember that anyway. Melon of the week is where we get 5 people, organisations, whatever, in the sporting world, and we rip them apart for doing something stupid. And number 5 this week, it's been his overall performance this year. We were talking about beforehand, Jake Fraser McGurk. His T20 and just overall performance in cricket this year has been awful. It's been woeful, and it's come fully to a head over the weekend as he's been dropped from our ICC ODI series, sorry. Look, Jake, we understand you play for Renegades. We understand they suck. But you suck too now, which sucks.
He has scored 86 runs in 8 matches for the Renegades.
That's all it's sucking. Look, sucks.
86. That's an average of 10.
And you're supposed to be a premier batsman.
He scored 300, almost 300 runs last year.
Mm-hmm.
To this. Boy, oh boy.
Look, Jake, get your act together because you're a melon.
Talking about getting their act together. Number 4, Arsenal fans. We get it. You guys want to win a trophy, but that is no way to just act after a loss. They were so arrogant going into beating United in the FA Cup, and they've lost. Look, they can say it's their best squad they've had in years, and they cannot win a trophy, and their fans are getting worse and worse. They need to just wrap their head in.
Arteta out after one major loss. I understand you're not happy with how it's going recently. It's been a bad week for you. Does not mean you get to act like this when he's taken you from absolute shithousery.
It baffles me, to be honest. It baffles. But Arsenal, you're at number 4.
Now, Stefanos Tsitsipas, what a day for him. Going out in the first day to the second youngest person ranked in top 50 in Alex Mickelson. How are you competing? You nearly made it to the final last year. It's been very good for the last 4 years at Australian Open. You're ranked in the top 10.
Before today happened, he was my pick to win the Australian Open this year too. So I had to divert because of Tsitsipas.
And it wasn't like it was like close. His first set was close, and the one he won, obviously he won it. The other 2 sets we were just nowhere near. Look, Tsitsipas, you're a massive melon.
Number 2, somehow they've made it without being in their actual season. But F1, they have decided to make Spa iconic track in Belgium.
Yeah, good job.
Got there. They're making it a rotational track between 2026 and 2031. So they're going to get they're going to be in 4 of those 6 seasons. But I don't, why? It's such a famous track. They haven't had some of the greatest races, yes, but I think it needs to be a staple on a calendar every season. And for them to make it a rotational track, it doesn't make sense. So F1, you guys are melons.
Also, if you wanted to just keep it on properly, just move the timing, because you always choose the wettest time to go to Spa. So, anyway, my little side point. It doesn't quite match. Nothing will quite match number 1 this week.
Boy, this is a 2025 front runner.
Let's start off by saying we don't know who this person is yet. We likely won't know until it's fully dealt with. A Premier League player has been arrested over the weekend for making a sex tape without consent. Also known as voyeurism, if you don't know. Now, it came out that apparently he didn't think he did anything wrong.
Okay, I did not know that.
That was the main quote I got from that. Basically, apparently, during an encounter, had a camera in the background. Basic thing.
My goodness.
The person's found out, and lo and behold, voyeurism. Now, I don't think we need to say on this podcast. I don't think it's a big thing to say.
I think it's a pretty simple explanation. Don't do that.
That's very bad.
Yes.
He said apparently he thought it was just a bit of fun. And he thought he didn't do anything wrong.
Should we play a game? What club do we think it is?
Oh, there's a few that could be it. I was thinking, honestly, I can't say who it is, obviously, because that's allegedly. But I reckon it might be a City player.
I think I know who you're talking about. I'm not thinking City. I was thinking the bloke who he plays for a club called Aston Villa. So that's who I'm guessing.
Okay. Interesting.
Anywho.
So yeah, arrested.
Doesn't matter who we think it is.
Look, whoever you are.
Bad.
It's much like sexual assault, anything we've talked about in this podcast with these melons. Look, voyeurism isn't cool, and you're a melon.
I think that's our number 1.
Yeah. Look, there is a child.
Yeah, wow.
We've had some bonkers ones.
That's a
bonkers
that's
one.
A story.
And that's the way to end the podcast.
Yeah, let's end it there.
As always,
I'm baffled.
There's a lot to come Australian Open this next week. We've got Sri Lanka soon. We'll probably start getting our AFL coverage for the year coming up.
We'll do big predictions just before the AFL season starts.
So plenty is still to come over the year. But for now, I'm John Tiberio.
It's a pleasure to be back. I'm Ethan Stone.
Stay Nuffin.